And we are recording, and here we are. Awesome. So welcome to the webinar. I really am so glad you are here. Now, the next step after this webinar is to book your free call with me. It happens exactly like this on a Zoom call. And the link is here at the bottom now. So www.primalalternative.com/call. And I want you to stick around until the end too, because I do have, I want to share with you all these amazing bonuses that we've got currently available, plus the special door prize for one lucky live attendee today. So you're interested in starting a bake from home business with Primal Alternative. So exciting. I'm so stoked that you're here to find out more. I'm just letting in another person. Awesome. So before we dive right into the 5 simple steps, let me introduce myself to you. So my name's Helen Marshall, but everyone calls me H, and I'm a primal living, I'm very excited, primal living expert. I'm a certified primal health coach with Mark Sisson's Primal Health Coach Institute, and I've got over 30 years experience in the health and wellness industry. I am a sought-after speaker. I've been a guest on over 25 podcasts, spoken at key wellness events across the country, and I've had my own food as medicine health transformation, as I imagine probably about 90% of you have here today. Primal Alternative has been established for 7 years and been operating as a license for, this is the 5th year. This business model has been successfully replicated in 4 countries across the world. We've got 33 streamlined products across 4 different product lines with over 400 stockists. It's the world's leading bake from home business. There really is nothing else like this out there. And so far to date, I've helped over 190 people get started in their own Primal Alternative business. How cool is that? So what about you? Let's find out about you. I'd love to know what your why is for coming here today. And you know, each one of the Primalistas has got different motivations for starting their own businesses. So what are yours? And let me know in the chat box. So all you need to do is just find the chat box and just put the numbers in that are relevant to you. So is it because you've lost your passion for your 9-to-5 job and want to make a change? Have you started a family and want to make some extra money from home? Would you like to build a side hustle, doing something you enjoy? Have you always been interested in becoming your own boss? Or haven't achieved the career goals you set out for yourself? Or all of the above? So let me know in the chittity box. Awesome. So I have got from Gabby, career goals. Cool. Megan, started a family. Congratulations. And always wanted to be her own boss. Squiz. Hi, Squiz. I love that name. Is that your real name? Lost passion for a current 9-to-5, his or her 9-to-5. Wants to build a side hustle and always been a little bit interested in being her own boss. Kate says, family, want to build a side hustle. That's awesome. Hey, Marita from Brisbane. Where am I going with these slides? All of the above. Easy. Wonderful. Thanks, guys. And I'd love to know as well, whilst I'm carrying on with the presentation, are you here because you've had a health transformation or somebody close to you in your family has had to make some dietary changes? That's a great question. I'd love to hear from you. So what's stopping you from moving ahead? Is it money constraints, time constraints, lack of know-how? Is it family duties, current job restraints, or my favorite, fear, self-doubt, or lack of confidence? And same gig with this, guys. Just shout out your numbers. Well, you know, type out your numbers in the chat group. Has a sip of coffee. Awesome. Gabby says, fear, self-doubt, and lack of confidence. in bold, italics and underlined, lol. Awesome. Hey Cheryl, you made it, yay. Sorry I sent out that, I sent an email out like way too early to say the webinar was starting. So sorry guys if you've been hanging around for a while. So Cheryl says, money constraints, lack of know-how and fear. Perfect. Cara, hey Cara, seeing you later today. Money, lack of know-how, family duties, oh that's a good one. And Squiz says mostly 6, and energy constraints. Oh yes, I think we've all got that too. And Diana and Rich, awesome, thank you so much. And you know what? Whatever the reason, you're definitely in the right place. And I'm going to share with you the exact steps you can take to build a freedom-based baking business. Try saying that after a few coffees. Baking delicious food from your very own kitchen. How exciting is that? And the method I'm going to outline has worked time and time again. So you don't need to worry about whether you have what it takes to be successful. And you don't need to stress over where you should begin, whether you have the right sales and marketing skills, whether you can create a product people like enough to pay money for, because I already know that you do have what it takes. And I celebrate you for taking the first huge step by showing up and watching this webinar today. And I really thank you for joining me, seriously. And all you need is a little guidance and support on your journey, and you'll be able to achieve your goals in no time. I've created this webinar to help make your path to success as simple and straightforward as possible. So you're about to discover the exact steps. Where's it gone? Here we go. All right. You're about to discover the exact steps you can take to build a successful baking business from home. What you absolutely must do if you want to grow your side hustle into a full-time business. How to choose the right equipment to ensure you bake super tasty restaurant quality food from home. And the most common mistakes new business owners make and why over half, it's a bit sad, isn't it, fail in their first year. So in about 60 minutes time, hang on a minute, let me just let this person in without clicking the slides all over the place. Da, 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 da. I need an admin person, don't I, to help me with the webinars. Maybe do, yes. So in about 60 minutes time, you'll have all the information you need to begin your journey as a Primalista and grow your own super successful baking business from the ground up. Now, going back to this slide, they're in slightly the wrong order, but let me be specific in saying you might have already read, I've got an ebook that's got this same title, it's got very similar steps, but this webinar is very specific about how you can build a home business with the Primalista license, okay? And how the Primalista license can take your why, which we've just covered, and get you started in your own successful baking business from home. So if you've read the ebook, stick around because this is much more specific and a lot more information padding, if you like. All right, so let's get into it. Building your own successful baking business from home can be a daunting thought. And I'm not going to lie, at times it will be challenging. You'll need to roll up your sleeves and put in the hard work. But achieving success can be a lot more manageable when you break down the process into smaller steps, right? When you chunk it down. So I've condensed everything you need into 5 easy to follow steps. And here they are. The first one, come up with a plan. A plan is absolutely vital if you're going to succeed in baking from home. To start off, you'll need to decide what type of baking business you want to create. So ask yourself now, what do you want to sell and who do you want to sell it to? The Primal Alternative range is made up of 4 streamlined product lines: ready-made breads, pizza bases, wraps, cookies, pastry and jellies, granola, packet mixes, which are dry versions of our ready-made products with the same great profit margin, but with a longer shelf life. And we recently launched our Whole Foods range. So think co-op, where Primalistas sell their bulk ingredients onto customers. There's a short list of foods that you can actually bake from home that your council will allow. To bake from home, your products will need to be low risk. Let me just check my, yeah, okay, there we go. I should have told you about this. bit before. So all of the Primal Alternative products are grain-free and naturally gluten-free, refined sugar-free. We've got low-carb, nut-free, dairy-free and egg-free options, which obviously covers the vegan market too. We have compostable packaging, so we don't use any plastic. It's all compostable cellulose. I hear a few cheers in the background there. Awesome. It's all locally homemade with love and made without gums, emulsifiers, soy, yeast, vegetable oils, or any other nasties. So that's where it was. Yeah, good. Okay. So one of the keys is to really focus on having streamlined products, okay? So when I first started as a food producer, I wanted to make everything, right? I wanted to do meals, broths, nut milks, as well as the breads, cookies, pizzas, and jellies. And to be honest, when my environmental health officer told me I could only do the breads and the low risk products, I felt like it was a real kick in the guts, but truly it was a blessing. And as my husband said, focus on nailing a small range of products and get known for doing that well. So if you haven't already, go ahead and check out the product range page on the Primal Alternative website and have a good look at all the different products. If I go through them all now, we're going to be here for ages, right? And you guys are all going to get hungry. So as a Primalista, you can choose what you bake and sell. You can also choose where you want to sell and how much time you want to devote to your business. Yes, you can go gangbusters and bake 5 days a week, but most Primalistas want to start out small and build up over time. Keeping it streamlined and niche is key to long-term success. Too many diverse products will soon leave you disillusioned and burnt out. Now, there's a few reasons that I believe healthy alternatives are the best choice, right? Firstly, the market is growing. Many Aussies have lost faith in the big supermarket brands. In fact, according to a survey by market research experts PlayMR, 59% of people believe that natural products meet their dietary requirements much better than regular supermarket foods. I agree with that. Do you? Most supermarket aisles are laden with food comprised of 3 ingredients. Can you guess what they are? Wheat, dairy, and sugar. Super nourishing. On top of that, 45% said the range of natural food options in the supermarket is insufficient. So there's definitely space to enter the market. All right, here we go. So do you think there is a growing market? Hang on, where are we? Yeah, I was going to talk you through, I think I've got my slides in slightly different order than I wanted to, but I just want to talk you through this slide. It's live, right? It's live and direct. The traditional range, which is the products I started with when I started the Primal Alternative range back in 2014, that was it. Fruit toast, pumpkin bread, zucchini bread, chocolate chip cookies, jellies, and pizza bases. Then the low carb movement happened. People told me there was too many carbs in those products. So I tweaked those recipes and came up with alternatives that were low carb and had a completely different macronutrient panel. Then we got asked a lot for egg-free products. People had intolerances to eggs. People had intolerances to dairy. So we came up with a egg and dairy-free range, or vegan. We've also got nut-free options, which are awesome for lunch boxes. So if you're wondering what the little asterisks are, when I was like, what did I mean on that slide again? Those are our best-selling products. So if you're looking at all of these and thinking, gosh, where will I start? Do I need to bake them all? Why don't you start with the best-selling products and take it from there? So what do you think? Are you still there? I'd love you to talk to me. Don't just leave me here talking to a computer screen all by myself. What do you think? Is there a growing market for people seeking grain-free, healthy alternatives to comfort staples like bread? Absolutely. Yes. Defo a growing market. Yes. I love a yes. I'm a big yes person as well. Awesome. All right, good. A resounding yes. And with the growing rise in varying dietary requirements, there's a growing market for healthy homemade alternatives, right? And that's a whole different webinar, choosing something that's homemade versus factory made, right? So where could you sell your Primal Alternative products to? Oh, by the way, see this picture here of these wraps? This is a brand new product. I'm pointing to it, but you can't see. Brand new product released this week, low carb wrap mix. They are yummy. Make sure you try them out soon. Okay, so let's brainstorm this one in the chat. I'd love to hear from you where you're starting to think about, I'd like to do it there, I'd like to do it there. First of all, think about where you shop. Hang on, letting Jody in. Welcome, Jody. We've just got started, so you'll be all sweet. Okay, where was I? Right, so first of all, it's super easy, right? Think about where you shop because you are an ideal Primal Alternative customer. You know, when you hear about how you should get to know your ideal customer avatar if you want to do well in your business, well, this is really easy. Just think about what you like and what's important to you, because that's what is important to our customers. So Primalistas are a perfect market sample. So whenever I'm about to launch a new product, I test it with all the Primalistas first. So I know when we go to market, boom, it's going to be a hit. All right. So we normally do well in farmers markets, health food shops, pizza shops. And when I say pizza shops, I mean like the gourmet pizza shops, you know, not like your Domino's, no. Just no. Independent grocers like your IGAs, friendship networks. Seriously, how many people love your baking and say, you should get paid to do this? That's a real common one for Primalistas. Wherever you work, your gym networks, your church networks, your school networks, sport networks, your local community, buy and sell groups. Yeah, those sorts of places. Loads of different places. Okay. Oh, Squiz. Squiz has just moved from NZ. Was many more options there. Yeah, but no Primalistas in NZ. What's going on? And come to Tassie and can't find low carb keto bread. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. It's a sin. Not even at the local farmers market. Well, we need to change that, don't we? Yes, we do, Squiz. Megan says health food shops and the Steiner School Market. Oh, that's where I sold mine at, the Steiner School Market. Farmers markets, local delis, yes, brilliant. School networks, local suburb pages, absolutely brilliant. You guys are onto it. You guys are onto it. All right, that concludes step one. That was easy, wasn't it? If you've got any questions, pop them in the chat. I'm going to answer every single one of your questions. I was going to tell you something else. Oh yeah, Jim. Look at Jim. I love Jim. I can't wait to give him a hug in real life one day. He is fantastic, right? Job satisfaction, baking healthy food, right? Let's read Jim's quote. It is immensely satisfying to create these beautiful products. And let's just say that Jim could not bake before he became a Primalista, right? He's really good. He's got a Greek heritage. He's really good at the souvlaki on the barbecue. He's a king, right? But baking, didn't have a clue. But now, a full day of baking with love is very fulfilling. Isn't it great? I love his story too. It's so good. It says rich, but it's not rich. Okay. So I think that just to kind of summarize in terms of potential stockists, you know, on the call, I will go through with you your potential stockists and we'll do a due diligence check to make sure that we aren't already talking to those stockists and they aren't already being stocked, okay? But don't worry, because there is seriously an endless potential of stockists. So start making notes on your phone of places you spot when you're out and about. Because I literally walk down a street and I'm like, there's a potential stockist, there's a potential stockist, there's a potential stockist, right? And there's no geographical territory as a Primalista, which is a good thing because it means you really get to be the boss of how big you want to grow your business without being a slave to every stockist in a certain postcode. Primalistas, existing stockists are protected as other Primalistas cannot approach an existing Primal Alternative stockist. Not that you'd want it anywhere, right? The thing I hear the most on calls from potential Primalistas is that they don't want to step on anyone's toes. This collaborative ethos works well in real life because all Primalistas charge the same price and agree when they sign the license agreement to source their own stockists. And it's actually a real bonus. Hang on a minute, where did you go? Hang on. I have got, I thought I had Rachel trying to get in. Maybe she's left because it took too long. Sorry, Rach. Come back, Rachel. Okay, it's actually a real bonus to have a few Primalistas in your area, and see it all the time, because you're going to have someone that can cover for you when you're sick, or when you're on holiday, or if your house floods, or if your oven breaks, or just some of the things that have happened in real life for Primalistas. It's someone to share bulk orders with or big events, and somebody locally that you can meet for a coffee with. Here's Rachel. Welcome, Rachel. Someone who's local, right, who gets it. So Rich, that's not Rich. I've forgotten what your real name is. Sorry, you did tell me. I'm going to look for what your real name is. Oh, I can't, it's too far back now. Candice! My concern would be markets around me and other Primalistas are near. Right, well, hopefully what I've just told you there has helped with that concern, because it's very common, and it's not because, it's usually not because people think, oh, you know, there's no room for me. It's they think, I don't want to step on someone else's business. I don't want to step on someone else's toes, right? Which is lovely. You're the exactly kind of people that's the kind of vibe we want, right? Okay. Okay, so yeah, look, Jim, I love this quote. It feels fantastic to help people improve their health and wellness through food. Seriously, at the end of the day, you can lie your head down on your pillow knowing what you do benefits people in your community. Because it's so much easier to sell something that you actually believe in. So if you've got a love for clean eating and healthy living, then baking yummy, nutritious food is the way to go. And you know what? If this corona crisis has given us anything, it's the time to reevaluate what's really important. On call after call after call, I hear from people who are in jobs that they can do, stood on their head, but they feel so unfulfilled. Or it's work that's taking them away from their families and their home, you know, missing chop duty, not being able to hang around and do reading at school, or being at the mercy of their own boss, having to ask for holidays, and also the threat of being stood down, right? Yeah. Oh, sorry, Jody. That's okay. Don't worry. Jody missed the start. You couldn't get the audio. I hope everything's okay now. But really, we're only on to step 2. So you're all sweet. All right, step 2. Don't worry. There's no progress. There's progress over perfection. There's no going backwards at Primal Alternative, only going forwards. So, taking care of the paperwork. As exciting as it is to start your own business, there are some tedious tasks that you have to take care of before you can get to the fun part. All right, and a little quote from Amy, who's my amazing local Primalista. I love Amy. Amy says, having only started not quite 2 months ago, I've been blown away with how instant the cash flow was. So if you're looking for something that's quick to get stuck into without too much tediousness before you can just get to the fun bit, then check this out. So, boring bits. You need to register your business. You'll need to apply for an Australian business number or whatever your equivalent is outside of the country if you are zooming in from a global location. So your ABN is a unique number that identifies your business to the government as well as to other people that do business with you, such as your suppliers and your stockists. You'll need to create your brand name, and your brand name will promote recognition of your product in the community. So when customers see a product that features your brand, they'll know what to expect. Your Primal Alternative business will be called something like Primal Alternative by Squiz, or whatever your name is. I use Squiz because I really think it's a cute name, right? So as Primalistas don't have geographical territory, we keep the location of your business out of the title. This is just too confusing. Trying to remember, you know, Squiz from Launceston, Primal Alternative. It's just easier to remember Primal Alternative by Liz. Love it, love it, love it. All right, getting your food business license, right? To bake from home and be legit, your kitchen needs to be inspected by your local, welcome Sophie, inspected by your local environmental health officer, and you'll need a food business registration before you start baking. Surfaces need to be sealed and ingredients need to be stored in rodent-free containers, usually plastic. I created the Primalista license so you could get started in your own food business quicker than if you started from scratch, all on your own. And today I want to share a bit more about this cool tool, which is our food safety program, because it's one of the biggest assets that you'll get with a Primalista license, right? It's a 45-page, hang on, is that it there? Or have I got a video of it? Let me just check. Don't stick on me. No, right, I don't. Okay, good. You don't have to sit through a video of it. All right. So this here on the right is the front cover of our food safety program, and it's a 45-page branded PDF. It looks really good on the inside as well, that you can share with your environmental health officer or EHO to help with your food business registration. Essentially, it shows how the Primal Alternative products are low risk and not potentially hazardous and safe enough to bake for the public from your home kitchen. And it's a document that I've created over 5 years with food technologists, and inside you'll find what your EHO wants to see, which is the scope of your business, small batch, artisan, hand finished, the processing method, so the ingredients, the recipe, how you cook it, etc. The packaging, compostable cellulose, the storage and the shelf life, and the food safety information and likely risk, which is low. The EHO will also see lab testing, water activity, statement plate counts, yeasts, mold, E. coli, etc. And also analysis and recommendations by independent food technologists showing the products as low risk. It's also going to show you what you need to know to be safe, which is your personal health and hygiene skills, food handling skills, how to receive and store your ingredients safely and to minimize cross-contamination, how to package, label and store finished products, transportation and online shop dispatch, food product recall and customer service protocol. Like seriously, it's an awesome document and I can't wait for you to check it out when you become a Primalista. You know what? A lot of Primalistas are so concerned about applying for their food business registration, and they are convinced that their council is the worst in the whole of Australia, right? Are you laughing? Because it's like everybody says that. Give me a little yes or a thumbs up or a little put your hand up if you think, oh my goodness, I'm dreading this bit. So you know what it is? I really think it's something in us that tells us that we feel like somebody's going to tell us, you can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. You can't stay home and bake cookies. No, go and get a real job, lady. Get a real job, Squiz. You know, get a real job, Candice. You can't bake cookies for a living. I think that's what we're worried about. Somebody's saying we can't do it. But in a recent Primalista survey, 78% of Primalistas said, 78%, said that getting council approval was a fairly straightforward process. All right, I've got a couple of quick questions. Do you need a separate fridge? No, thank goodness. You might need a separate shelf in your fridge if you want to do jellies. Can the business name be my current business and then be a stockist maker? Yes, absolutely. Quite a few entrepreneurial Primalistas have already got their own business. So for example, I'll use chicken as an example. Primal Alternative by Chicken. Chill Insurances trading as Primal Alternative by Chicken. And Lizzie Squizzy says, ignorance is bliss. Recommended kitchen space or storage? Great question. Candice, you get it right. Yes, thank you. Right, I started with a tiny kitchen. So I had a 1.2 workspace area. I also utilized my kitchen table, and I did not have enough room in my tiny pantry for 10 kilos of almond meal, etc. So I just stocked it all in those, those plastic storage boxes from Bunnings, and I wheeled them out and wheeled them back in when I needed to bake. So there's plenty of workarounds. And in the Primalista group, there's so many pictures of people's pantries, so you can get some good, get some good ideas from there as well. All right, where are we up to? Okay, yes. So back to your food business registration. It's common to get an initial no if you call your EHO on the hop. You just ring them up, oh, hi, can I bake some hemp wraps at home and sell them at the market? So they're like, what is she talking about? Is hemp even legal? You know, like you'll have a much better result when you go about it the right way and give the EHO the information they're looking for. And besides, you can lean on myself. I'm a bit of an expert with food business registrations now, happy to admit, and our awesome community of primalistas who've been approved already, right? Food business registrations have been granted in all states and territories in the UK, where am I? Australia. Also in Yorkshire, in the United Kingdom, the South Island of New Zealand, Idaho, yeah, Idaho, Tennessee, and Wyoming in the USA. It really is organically turning into a bit of a global business, which is very cool. All right, final point on step 2 is organizing your insurance. So you're looking for product and public liability insurance, right? And it's vital for any bake from home business because it's going to protect you in the event that someone is harmed by one of your products. So for example, if they get sick after eating something you've baked and claim it was your product. Now that's obviously something no one ever expects to happen, but you need to be covered in the unlikely event that it does. Now, which insurer you go with is a personal choice, and I recommend doing an online search and comparing prices. And I have to be saying that right, but and you know, make sure you know what's covered before you take out the policy. But Primalista chicken chow mein, she's called chow mein, but her brother called her chicken chow mein, and she likes being called chicken, so that's what we go with. Is an insurance broker and almost in her 5th year as a Primalista. She's one of my very good friends, and she's helped most of our Aussie Primalistas sort out their insurance. So that's one job that we can take care of you, take care for you too. Take care of for you too. I'll just have a sip of coffee. All right, now comes the fun part. It's time to turn on your food processor, whip out your apron and get baking. And no, a Thermomix is not essential, although it's a good excuse to buy one on a business expense. But seriously, I recommend starting with what you currently mix cakes with. Some Primalistas even just use bowls and electric whisks. Yeah. Now, I'm going to just briefly explain how I created these recipes, right? So back in 2014, I suffered a health crisis, and this was my shopping list of disaster, right? So I ditched grains, sugar, and seed oils in favor of plants and animals, sunshine, sleep, nature. Anyone else been there? I thought I was the only person in the world. I thought I was dying of some horrible disease. I could not do any more than just get through one day at a time. That I absolutely had to have a 3-hour sleep in the afternoon to get through. And all I could cope with was getting the dinner ready and getting the washing done. And even then, that was just so overwhelming. Yeah, not nice at all. It still makes me feel really emotional when I think back. Everybody's saying not alone there, not alone, sounds familiar. Yeah, it's horrible. And yeah, and now we've met so many other friends who've had this like, another victim of the food pyramid. Awesome. So when you have a transformation, right, like this, and you know, my results were incredible. It was complete transformation. I felt more focused, more full of energy that I'd ever done in years. It was like lifting this veil of brain fog and pain and anxiety. And shortly after, I became a primal health coach because I was like evangelical about this lifestyle, and I wanted to help others have the same positive change, right? But I found that my clients found the lifestyle really difficult to follow, right? It's hard to stick to without comforting staples like pizza, like bread, like a biscuit, And pastry, like it's okay for a while without sausage rolls, but then what about when it's someone's birthday? You want a sausage roll, damn it. And I'd already mastered primal alternatives to the foods that we loved because my husband Mike said, we're not going primal without cookies, right? So I took our family favorite chocolate chip cookie recipe, swapped the margarine for organic butter, swapped the self-raising flour for almond meal, swapped the white sugar for coconut sugar, and got rid of that disgusting supermarket chocolate and changed it for 70% cacao, dark chocolate, right? The resulting cookie was sensational, way better than the original, and it left us feeling amazing. I've been making these cookies for 7 years now. Primalista Amy down here in Denmark, Western Australia, where I live, makes me a batch of cookies every week. And we live off them, basically. They are sensational. And I knew I needed to master pizzas and breads too, right? And I found primal baking so much easier than conventional baking because there's no kneading, there's no proving or rising or any of that sticky dough to clean up afterwards. You just chuck it all in, mix it together, and baking. It's faff-free baking, as I like to say. Faff-free, as in like fuss-free. I think it's a Pommy thing, right? Yeah, do you know what I mean? But make sure that you know I'm not saying fat-free, because some people think I'm saying fat-free. No, faff-free, right? So look, I'm going to be honest. There were many fails along the way. Luckily, we've got chickens to feed the failed recipes too. And I screwed up on the pricing too initially, selling for less than the cost price because I didn't have a clue how to cost the product. And I nearly got tripped up on what to call the brand, which colors I was going to use, which font. Oh my goodness, all the stuff that really presents as a massive hurdle for all wannabe food producers. But as all of the hard work has been taken care of with the Primalista license, there's no need for you to reinvent the wheel. I love to show you how simple the Primal Alternative recipes are. You don't need a catering or a chef background to become a Primalista. The recipes are just simply measure, mix, and bake. We can crank out many products in a short space of time this way. And also, as the loaves are smaller than a regular loaf and not sensitive to opening and closing the door a million times, and like conventional baking, we can fit 12 loaves in the oven at once. You only need a domestic oven. This is a common question. And whether it's a 600 or a 900 oven, both are as good as each other. All right. So I am going to show you how easy these recipes are with this little video. Hopefully the sound's going to be all right. I'm not sure, but fingers crossed it will.
Let's make pizza bases. So I'm going in first of all with the cashew nut milk. Then I'm going in with my eggs. Then I am going to add the grain-free baking powder. And they're in with the salt. Don't forget the coconut oil. So I'm just going to take that off the Thermomix and just scrape down the sides of bowl. And just going to mix again, speed 5, 30 seconds. And then you're going to take your pizza tray and pop it onto the scales. So once you've measured it, I like to take it off the scales and then just spread it around using your spatula. So the pizzas are all done. So again, we want to take them off the trays straight away. And we're going to put them in a bag like this. And again, one last cuddle, squeezing the air out of the bag. And put the label in the center. And there you go.
There you go. How easy does that look? Do you like the look of that? Could you do that? Gosh, you could. No, don't want to see it again though. Thanks very much. A couple of questions to catch up on. One from Gabby. Things need to be properly sealed. What do I mean? I just mean that you can't have like flaking paint. That's a bad one for me to say with my accent, isn't it? Flaking paint. Can't have flaking paint. falling down from the ceiling is a key one. But you know what? The key thing is to not assume that it's unpassable, because the amount of primalistas who've sent me pictures of their kitchen saying, my daggy kitchen's never gonna pass, and it does. And you know what? Environmental health officers want you to have a business, and they support you. Can you hear my cat? I don't know why he's meowing. He's a bit old and anxious, and sometimes when the kids have gone to school, he goes looking for them. It's pretty cute, isn't it? And that's another good question. Yes, you can bake with pets at home. Yes, you can. You just have to keep them at the kitchen when you're baking, so that's really good. But you know what, Gabby? Council will suggest, if they see something that's not good enough, they'll suggest it. It's really normally an easy fix with mats on things. And Cheryl's in a rental property. And yeah, usually not much changes need to be made. But with rental properties, it's a really good idea, just out of courtesy, to let your landlord know that you want to have a business from home. And the key things to mention are that it is a small business. It's not going to add any wear or tear to the property, and you're not going to have any customers come into the house. All right, on with the show. Okay, so I first took the Primal Alternative products to market in 2014. So this is the 7th year that the brand has been out there, which means you get to jump on the moving Primal Alternative train of brand awareness. So when Primalistas show up at their first markets, customers say things like, oh, Primal Alternative's here. And building a business from a standing start through word of mouth by yourself can take ages. Okay, Primal Alternative is a well-loved brand, and it's had the benefit of some serious industry leaders like paleo chef Pete Evans, Quirky Cooking's Joe Whitten, Alex Stewart from Low Tox Life, Cindy O'Meara, Mark Sisson, Helen Padarin, pictured here, the natural nutritionist Steph Lowe, and many, many, many more endorsing the brand to make Primal Alternative a well-known, liked and trusted brand for you to benefit from. Perfecting the recipes usually only takes one try before you're ready to sell, and you'll need to adapt the baking time for your oven, because all ovens are different. That's what we found out. And you may find the odd recipe trickier than others, but you'll find heaps of tips from other Primalistas in our group to help you on your way. All right. Step 4, get ready to sell. Oh, what's this? Okay, hang on. It's the first time I've done this one, okay? So, you know, I wrote it a few weeks ago and I haven't rehearsed it. So, you know, is it going all right? Is it interesting? Hope so. Okay, so once you've perfected the recipes, it's time to look for avenues to sell your products. For baked goods, one of the most effective methods of selling is via a stockist, which is a business that stocks and sells your product for a percentage of the profits. I'm going to go through those with you as well in a minute. You've identified some awesome potential stockists on the webinar. We'll also do more of that on the call. And now it's time to approach them. Dun, dun, dun. This can be, oh, I'm hilarious. Oh, thank you. I'm going all quiet now. This can be super daunting for some Primalistas who don't see themselves as salesy. And let me assure you, you do not need to be salesy. In fact, I don't want any salesy people out there representing Primal Alternative. You just need to tell people about your products, which is also known as marketing, and make offers. How easy is that, right? Product sales that you can touch and taste are much easier than selling a concept or a service, right? So it's much easier to let someone try a cookie and say, would you like to buy a packet? Than it is to just sell an idea of something, right? We also don't have a minimum order quantity. So even though not every single potential stockist will say yes, it's easy for most people to give us a go. Stockists really value local producers, and customers value them supporting local too, which is another win-win over a non-local brand. But please don't think of sales as bad. We've got this thing that it's yuck, and it's not. Because a business without sales is just a hobby. Boom, all right? So instead of worrying about how you're coming across, why not think about what's in it for them? What's in it for your customers? Think about how you're helping them and making a difference to your health, to their health, and that will make it so much easier to walk through that door and ask for the sale. All right, so here's a video. Are you excited? Okay, good, right. This is our brochure. When you get access to the Primalista resources, you'll find some super helpful tools to help you secure your first few stockists, including our fabulous brochures. You'll also need to implement a marketing strategy to build your brand and reach your customers. You could look at starting a social media channel, building a website, and setting up a branded signage for your market stall, right? In the Primalista resources, you'll also find over 500 professionally taken photos to use in your marketing as well as your social media. Primalistas are producing super content all the time, and you can share the love and repost their content too. One strategy many Primalistas find successful is influencer marketing. This is where you approach a social media influencer and offer to give them some free products to try in return for an endorsement if they like the product. Think of it like digital word of mouth, and if they have a lot of loyal followers, that word will spread very quickly. So here we go. So yes, that's a great question. Oh. How funny is that? That's like me in my like daggy, like I'm not seeing anyone today clothes. Like I was catching flies at the end. Oh, that's too funny. Yeah, so Josh, yes, the it's not Josh though, is it? It's Deanne. Is it Deanne? Hi Deanne. Both of the costs, both of the prices are set. Online, I know, right? On the online shop, I offer a few bundles, but really, Primalistas, I don't want you offering bundles and discounts because it really eats into your profit margin. And we're not a stack 'em high, sell 'em cheap brand. We're an artisan, niche, handmade, homemade, local producer brand. So yeah, if you're in a market and it's the end of the day, you can get rid of products by selling them at the wholesale price instead of the retail price. But yeah, other than that, you've got the two prices and you need to stick to those, which makes it really easy because I tell you what I see a lot in business is people giving stuff away for free or like discounting and then going, I'm not earning any money and giving up, right? And I don't want that to happen. Dun, 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 step 5, buy your equipment and ingredients and start baking. Woohoo! That's pretty exciting. What slide's next? Okay, good. All right, we're going to go through startup costs in a sec. So you're ready to start baking and selling your products. You already have a lot of what you need in your kitchen, right? Let's go to it now so you can start reading it. I recommend a lean startup. Don't get shiny object syndrome. Keep it basic so you can start earning profit in your business quicker. Here's a quick outline of where to buy equipment and ingredients. Now, your equipment can be, like I say, really tempting to go out and purchase an entire kitchen's worth of equipment or when you're starting out, but take it easy so your startup costs aren't too high. You can always purchase more equipment later on once you start earning money. To get started, I've made a list of the necessary equipment and worked out where to get it from. So places like Kmart and Spotlight are places you can get a lot of this equipment from. They often have sales on. You can do things with Afterpay, Stagger, that kind of thing, right? And a common mistake for most bake from home business owners is that they've spent too much money up front on shiny new equipment. And I'm not saying you shouldn't invest in some money to ensure you've got an adequate setup, like you should, but it's a good idea to start small and add up, right? And the truth is that if you have the right recipes, you can bake delicious restaurant quality food from your own kitchen without needing top of the line equipment. A clever way to reduce your upfront costs is to narrow down the variety of products you start with. That means you're going to need fewer ingredients, and as you begin to earn money, you can expand your range. The exact equipment you're going to need for your business will depend on what you've already got. So here is a list of equipment that I recommend for new Primalistas, and I'm going to tell you how much it's going to cost too. So you can see the things here. You've probably already had a good read of those, so I won't read them all out. But the things that are highlighted in green are things that you'll make money back on. Obviously, it's not guaranteed, but those are the things that you're going to need: ingredients, labels, and bags before you've got anything to make to sell. Okay, and other things like baking paper, cooling racks, baking trays. You've probably already got some of them, right? And also, when we get together on a call, ask me about the baking starter kit. It's a really cool bonus. It's a bonus that I only share with Primalistas who are keen to get things moving. It's a bit of an incentive to keep on moving because each step is like scary, right? But ask me about that on the call. All right, okay. Ingredients, we've already found reliable suppliers to source your ingredients in bulk at wholesale costs to cut down your costs and ensure you always have quality ingredients to bake with. And you'll get a comparison, a supplier comparison spreadsheet as part of the resources. You purchase your dry ingredients in bulk for one of our suppliers that we recommend. And you'll be able to get your other ingredients like butter, eggs, honey, and vegetables from local suppliers like your farmers, health food shops, or supermarkets. Organizing your equipment and ingredients is the final action you need to take to set up your business. With everything in place, business registered, your supply chain sorted, your stockists ready to sell, and your marketing attracting customers, you'll be ready to start baking and make your first sale. Whew, how is all of this sounding? If you think it all sounds too difficult to accomplish on your own, don't worry. You can always look for help to make life easier on yourself and increase your chances of success. And that's why a Primalista license comes with so many resources and support to help guide you every step of the way. We can help you set up your business, give you the recipes, provide marketing and sales training and templates, and give you lists of suppliers and stockists to source ingredients and sell your products. I've never had a Primalista fail to make a sale, and 75% of Primalistas achieve their first sale within their first month. To give you an idea of what you can expect when you become a Primalista, I've included some case studies from real life Primalistas. So this is Primalista Rosie. She's in her 3rd year as a Primalista. She left a job as a pharmacist to pursue a more meaningful career. Her business turns over $70,000 a year, which I think is fantastic because that's what my full-time chippy carpenter husband makes, and he works 5 days a week. He leaves at 7 a.m. He comes back at 6 p.m. She bakes 3.5 days a week. She's there for her son River, and she takes 6 weeks annual leave a year. Rosie says, I love my business. It provides me with a fulfilling job to do that I never wake up dreading. I feel a lot of personal satisfaction from knowing I'm helping other people to eat well and make better health choices. I've gained confidence personally and professionally during the process of starting and growing my own business. It feels like a dream that I can earn money doing something I love while at the same time being able to be at home for my young son. I've worked hard for my business, but it doesn't feel like work as it brings such an incredible sense of pride. This is Primalista Shah. She is in her 1st year as a Primalista, and her business turns over $45,000 a year. She bakes 2 days a week. She's just started a master's and she takes 10 weeks annual leave to be there with her twin boys. Shah says, since starting my business, I've become an entrepreneur, started to build the foundations of key collaborations with other small businesses and become an active change maker in the wellness world. I love how what I'm doing has such a significant impact on the health and wellness of my community. There's no greater reward in owning your very own health food business. How cool is that? And Primalista Leanne is in her second year in New South Wales. Her business turns over between 35 and 40,000 a year. She bakes 2 days a week and takes 6 weeks annual leave. And Leanne says, I'm just really pleased I took the leap of faith and jumped into Primal Alternative. It instantly resonated with me. My hubby and father-in-law were highly skeptical. Let me know if anybody in your family is highly skeptical that I could make any money out of selling bread for $16 a loaf. They still don't get it, but have seen my success as proof that I might actually know what I'm talking about. I love this one. I love that the license gives me the option to pick and choose what I bake and how I structure my business. I love selling at the markets. I love connecting with my customers on a personal level. I get such a kick out of them returning each week. These moments fill me with so much joy and gratitude. And you know, like there's like a dozen other success stories from Primalistas, which you can read over on the website, but you get the point, right? These women were in a similar position to where you are now. They wanted to start their own business, but they weren't sure how to go about it. They had people saying no, no, no in their ears. They found Primal Alternative and fell in love with the yummy, healthy recipes and the simple, proven approach to building a successful baking business. And they all now earn a living baking scrumptious food from their kitchens. All right, what you must do if you want to grow your side hustle into a full-time business. A side hustle is more than just another stream of income. It's also the new job security. So whether you're a mum who wants to earn some extra income in your free time, I always laugh at that bit, free time, or somebody with a full-time job that's looking for a career change, starting a side hustle is a great way to turn your love for real food into a living. If you know that what you're doing and you put in the hard work, something that starts as a side hustle could quickly transform into a full-time business that provides a better life for you and your family. Not only would a successful business mean that you could get paid to do something you love every day, but it would enable you to be your own boss. You could choose the hours you work, decide on when to take a break, and never miss a social commitment or important family moment because of work. Growing a side hustle into a full-time business is certainly possible, but it will take time and work on your behalf. There are 2 non-negotiable aspects of business that you really need to get right in order to accomplish this. And they are, oh look, I could have showed you that while I was telling you. Isn't that grazing plate? Doesn't it look lovely? I could just eat that right now. That's our distracted by food again. Fat and seedy bread, baked in the oven, turned into crackers. Yeah, it's good. Shall we have that? Come over. We can have a wine, have a grazing plate, or a kombucha, whatever you like. Okay, so what you must have is an in-demand product. Your products need to be both high quality and in demand. Like we've done the market research. We know that this is a perfected product that stands out from the competition. Loyal customers. If you want a successful bake from home business, loyal customers are crucial. It's better to first focus on building up a strong base of regular customers rather than trying to sell as many products as you can, right? The more customers that you can get who incorporate your product into their regular diet, the higher your chance of success. Repeat business will help provide steady sales even when the economy hits a rough patch. During the Corona crisis, Primalistas reported record sales, proving that even during a crisis, people's values around food don't change. One of the best things about becoming a Primalista is that you can help tap into an existing market to sell your products. Plus, with the range of yummy, healthy recipes that are suitable for people with allergies and intolerances, Primal Alternative foods are suitable for vegan, paleo, low carb, low FODMAP, and grain and wheat-free diets. We even have an online store, so you'll be able to take orders as soon as you're set up. It's really cool to get clear on your why. We've already talked a little bit about that at the beginning. We'll talk more about that on the call, but really getting strong on your why you want to do this will really help to not have to listen to the naysayers who say things like, nobody will pay $16 for a loaf of bread, or the mean girl in you who says, hey, it's worked for these 190 other women, but it won't work for you. All right? It's okay if you think like that. We all do. It's normal. Set healthy boundaries. This is something we'll talk about on the call as well. Be realistic. We've all been conditioned as women to be good girls, to help out others, but that doesn't actually equate to a successful business. You know, let's use Primalista Shah as an example. Her business took off. She only had 2 days a week to work. She was plenty busy with 2 stockists, absolutely flat out. And she had to give up one of her stockists to another Primalista because she got too busy. And, you know, I worked with her through that so she could do it without upsetting the customers, but staying true to her why and having healthy boundaries so she can continue with her successful business, not get burnt out and throw it in the bin, right? A brilliant quote that I love that you should write and stick on your fridge is from money mindset guru Denise Duffield Thomas, and she says, boundaries don't make you a bitch. It's a good one. It's a good one, right? Okay, we're nearly at the end. Don't forget that I have got a door prize. We're really, really nearly there. Okay, let's quickly trot through the most common mistakes of new business owners. Okay, starting a new business is super exciting, but it's also very challenging, right? Whatever shiz you've got that you need to work through, it's going to come up. It's a beautiful personal growth journey. But sadly, too many new business owners fail to perform their due diligence and quickly run into trouble. In fact, according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, more than 60% of new business owners shut up shop in the first 3 years. So what are the most common mistakes of new business owners, and how can you avoid them and mitigate the risk so that your business doesn't end up as a fail? Let's look at how you can steer clear of the costly errors and keep yourself on the path to success. Going it alone. Many new business owners don't seek the help they need when starting out. Instead, they try to cover every area of the business themselves. This leads to expensive mistakes which ultimately cost them their dream. Finding other people who can offer guidance and advice will help you enormously when you start a business. That's why I provide so many resources for every new Primalista: delicious recipes, demo videos, supplier and stockist information, marketing templates, sales training, and even one-on-one coaching sessions. It means that you're never alone when starting out, so you can steer clear of mistakes and implement proven strategies to help you grow your successful business. Failing to plan. I touched on this a little bit earlier, but it's very important because it can save you a lot of trouble down the line. It's far more difficult and costly to make substantial changes to your business 6 months after you register it. Come up with a clear plan for your business before you register it, including what you want to bake, who your target market is, and the number of hours you want to put in, and what your budget is. A thorough business plan can help you avoid nasty surprises and forge a clearer path to success. Primalistas get access to my great resource called My Business Blueprint, which is an 18-page PDF to walk you through your business plan. Before I make offers to new Primalistas, we always do our due diligence with regards to business planning. We examine your time, earnings, and check there are enough potential stockists for you in your area. And finally, pricing your products incorrectly. Guilty initially. This mistake is especially common for bake from home businesses. And it's understandable because it's such a tricky subject, right? Pricing your products too high can scare away potential customers, and pricing them too low could see you lose money instead of turning profit. Pricing is very personal, and as health advocates, we sometimes feel guilty about charging for something we love to do, right? And in fact, I see many foodies start and quickly exit the food business because they don't charge enough or know the right cost of goods equations to nail their pricing. It can be very tricky to know what to set as the price. And that's why I give each new Primalista pricing guidelines. It enables them to set the optimal price for each product so they can maximize their profits. And now I'd love to share with you the profit margins so you can decide if you think this is a viable business model for you or not. So as you can see here, this is the profit margin for our packet mixes. So what you've got here is the cost of goods, or the cost, what it costs to make the product in black. And if you're selling directly to the public, say to your friends or at a market, you're going to be getting 68% of the cost of that product. If your stockist is selling it for you, then they're going to take a percentage, which is here. And as you can see, we sell both at wholesale and retail. So on average of these two averaged together, about half is about half of the total cost is your gross profit. And we've got the same pie charts here for the cookies. So you can see if you focused on direct sales, the margins are much higher, near 70%, but on average 50%. With the breads, all right, and that's it. If you want to look at these again, if you're desperately trying to take screenshots, or if you want to show it to your partners, love this. They love the number crunching. So if you Google how much can I earn as a Primalista, Primal Alternative, it will bring up these beautiful pie charts for you to have a look at. All right, I'm losing my voice. It must be nearly the end. All right, let's talk about the membership bonuses and that double guarantee. And we're nearly at the door prize too. So hang around. All right, how much is it going to cost me? Okay, so we have got a really awesome price on the membership at the moment, and also some really cool bonuses. So in essence, to be a Primalista, it's going to cost you $584 a month for 12 months, and then just $110 a month after that. So to bring it down even further, it's $20 a day for the first year, and then just $3 a day after that, no matter how much you sell. So in terms of starting up a business, it's very low, and there's not a lot of startup costs in terms of equipment. And I had a Primalista once say to me, I didn't know whether to do a business course or do this. And my husband said to me, you might as well do this, because the cost of doing a business course and then this were the same, but you actually have a business that you can start earning money from with this. Bonuses, let's talk about the bonuses. So you get My Business Blueprints. I just told you about that. You get Thrive, and Set for Life, which are two of my health coaching and personal development programs. You get Aligning for Success, which is an emotional freedom technique or tapping program specifically for Primalistas. Tap, tap, tap. I'm not good enough. I don't look the part. No one's going to buy the bread from me. I'm not very good at sales. Tap, tap, tap. Who loves tapping? I love tapping. You're also going to get a beautiful organic fair trade apron, beautifully modeled by Primalista Vi here in New South Wales. I've had lunch at her house. It was amazing. Silicone spatula and a one-on-one session with me. And don't forget to ask me about that baking starter kit when we get on a call together, because that's new and it's really cool. And let's talk about the Thriving Business Double Guarantee. This is new too. And yes, you can make that cheesecake. It's dairy free. It's got tequila in it, but you don't have to put tequila in it if you don't like tequila, but it's so good. And it's got our granola as the base. And you can get that. It's in our free recipe ebook, which is on their website. It's really good. Check it out. Make it this weekend. How pretty is it? All right. So the Thriving Business Double Guarantee. Here it is. The Primal Alternative 7-day cooling off guarantee. So when you join Primal Alternative, you have a full 7 days to try all the materials for your bake from home business. And if you look at them all and think this is rubbish, I don't want it, you give you your money back, no questions asked. Guaranteed sales in your first 3 months or your money back. I want to ensure your business hits the ground running with the maximum possible chance of success. And if you follow our steps and you don't get a sale within the first 3 months, we will refund you the whole cost of your membership paid to date. How good's that? Like, any doubts and fears that you've got, like, that just answers it. Or I just thought this is new, right? We only came up with this year. It's so good. It just takes away the risk for you, you know, and it's totally safe for me to offer because I know that it's good and you'll make a sale. But I also think it's just really good, you know, if you've got dubious family members that are saying, oh, but what if you don't make a sale? You can say, well, I'll get my money back, you know. So make sure you've got this in your arsenal. I love that word. When you're talking to your loved ones. Do you know what I mean? All right, the next step is to book a call with me. Now, it's primalalternative.com/call. I have got some times tomorrow. I've opened up Saturday because I've been getting a lot of calls booked in lately, which is so cool. There's 20 this week and 15 next week so far. Huge numbers, I know. Things are really going gangbusters, which is so cool. Yeah, so some Saturday calls available tomorrow, and also Monday. I think there's some times left on there as well. So go ahead and book that call. So we are about to get to the Q&A, but before we do, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to join me for this webinar. Hopefully you found the information helpful. And if you do take the plunge and decide to join us, I really hope your journey is as fulfilling and successful as the Primalistas we've talked about today. And you know what? With the right support, I'm sure it will be, right? The sky literally is the limit. And through this webinar, you've learned powerful and valuable information that when applied will change your business and your life forever. If you'd like to find out more information about becoming a Primalista and how to gain all the recipes, tools and techniques you need for success, then I'd love to meet you. All you need to do is to get in touch and book a call with me. The calls are super fun and casual. Hopefully you're getting a vibe from me. I'm like quite funny. We're going to discuss your goals for your freedom-based business, and I'll outline exactly what you need to do to get your new business off the ground and make your first sale inside 3 months guaranteed. However, and this is the serious bit, all the information and steps covered in this webinar are absolutely freaking worthless if you don't take action. If there's one thing I want to impress upon you, it's the importance of taking action, not waiting to be ready. There's no such thing as ready. There's only now. There's no nirvana future where you've got more time and more money. So don't put off your dream of being your own boss. If you don't take action, something else will grab your attention and you'll be off looking for the next strategy, tactic, or silver bullet for your situation. I urge you to put the blinkers on and take action. And if you do, I can assure you that you'll reap the rewards and find the solution to the reason you showed up today. Building a successful business allows you to manifest your craziest dreams. You deserve this success and can truly have it all, despite those naysayers. And I invite you on this journey, and I look forward to celebrating your success and hearing how becoming your own boss has transformed your life. So take the next step on this journey and book your call with me. Now, I'm going to be taking all of your questions, so please pop them in the chat box. And while you do that, I'm going to show you the results of a recent Primalista survey. It goes on very short, about a minute, and I haven't forgotten about those amazing door prizes, so stay tuned. Let's get into this video. Work. Yay. I've got some awesome questions in the chat group. I don't want to watch that again though, do you? Okay, where am I? Okay, that's it. Okay, back to that one. Okay, right. Let me just pop my video on. Oh, before I forget, because I will forget, because I get so carried away answering questions. There, that's everybody. Should just be able to see me, right? Hopefully. Thanks for coming. And I'm going to randomly, by just a process of randomness, choose somebody to win. Actually, I'm going to give away two because you guys have shut up today and did go on longer than 60 minutes. Sorry. But I'm going to give away a goodie box. Gosh, that's sad. A goodie box of Primal Alternative products. Right, so ready. Two people. I'm going to pick you randomly. The first person is Gabby. Gabby's the winner. And the second one, Rich. But it's not Rich, it's Candice. Candice, you won a prize. So I would love you both to please send me an email with your address. It needs to be a physical address, not a PO box. info@primalalternative.com, and I will organize a surprise bag of goodies, box of goodies. And thank you so much for being live attendees, and thank you everybody for turning up. All right, and thanks for staying. It's so cool. All right. I've never won anything ever. It's a sign. Oh, it is a sign. Congrats, Gabby. So cool. Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. All right. Brilliant questions. Keep them a-coming. Right. Is there an upfront cost, Helen, or just straight into payment every month? That's a great question. I know I get asked that quite a lot. People are like, okay, and what's the upfront cost? I'm like, no, that's it. Should I put the price up? That's it. $584 a month. That's it for 12 months. And then just $110 a month after that. And you know, like that was the cost that I had up until Easter. And then I sat and looked at it again and I thought, that's good. I'm going to keep that. And the plan is to review that at the end of the financial year, to the end of June. And then again at the end of the intake. So I'm going to finish recruiting this year at the end of September. And then I'm going to close all new Primalist intakes until next April. Yeah, doing it a bit differently this year. So what do you think about that? Is that all right? What do you guys think about the price? Is it good? Should I put the price up? That's good. I'm so glad you've got your call book for Friday. That's so good. I'm looking forward to chatting to you tomorrow too, Megan. Is there a fee charged by council for the required license? Yes, there is. It's usually around $500, and then an ongoing renewal. My renewal is $120 a year. They basically just send me an invoice and I pay it, and that's it. But some Primalistas do get their kitchen inspected. It is actually quite nice to have an EHO on call. You can call them and ask them any questions you might have, which is really, really cool. And they audit you. They keep an eye on your kitchen. They make sure everything's up to standard. So, you know, you don't need to be audited by me. It's really cool how it works. But having said that, Jodie, some Primalistas have found that they've had their council fees refunded due to COVID. So let me know if you have to pay. Is there a limit to the number of Primalistas in a particular area? That one's from Josh, but I think it's Deanne. Oh no. Hang on, I've just noticed I can't book the call. The page comes up with an error. Oh my goodness, do you know what? It's so annoying because we've got some tech gremlins on the site, and I've got serious developers looking at it, but there's like about 500, like I see it as like a nits or something. Like my website's got nits, and like all these like bots are in there, and they're like, anyway, it's a mess. And so yeah, we're having a few tech issues at the moment. It's in hand, we're trying to fix it, but could you just keep trying to refresh that page and it will come up. And you know what else I'm going to do as well? This is a great idea. I'll send an email out with the replay with a link direct to my diary instead of going through to the website. Okay, because I do want to see you. Okay, is there a limit to the number of Primalistas in a particular area? No. So we covered that a little bit on the webinar. it depends on the number of stockists in your area. So on the call, we'll make sure that you have got at least 3 to 5 potential stockists to go out. You know what? Everybody thinks that there isn't going to be enough. There's like this scarcity mindset. It's in our hardwire. It's in our DNA. It's part of our survival instinct. And I go through it with each call. Go through with potential primalistas the target stockist spreadsheet, and we'll say, yes, look, there is definitely heaps of scope in your area. And there's only been one occasion where there hasn't been, and that was with a Primalista that lived up in Carnarvon, and there was literally nowhere to sell it to. That's like this remote town in Western Australia. I was like a general store, and I was like, you know what, I don't think you're going to make a business out of it. And she couldn't post it locally either because all the post goes to Perth. But there's always plenty of stockist potential. Just think about all the farmers markets, IGAs, pizza shops, cafes, restaurants, people's friendship networks, having your own social media presence in an online shop. It's just a lot of potential. So hopefully that's answered your question. If not, let me know. What is the strategy suggestions for maintaining your business when taking time off? Oh, that's a good question, Kate F. Well, usually if you're going to take some time off, you could either get a local Primalista to bake for you. So for example, one of our Primalistas has just found out she's quite seriously ill. So another Primalista is taking care of her stockists until she's well enough to come back. So that's a good long-term strategy. But if you're going on holiday for like 2 weeks, you would just it's like communication is one of our key values. It would just be to let your customers know, I'm going on holiday for 2 weeks, quick, order twice as much, I'm gone. This is how you freeze our products, or buy some packet mixes to tide you over. So that's the best strategy. And you can just do what you feel works best for you each time. Deanne, yes, it is Deanne. Are you able to purchase fruit and vegetable produce from a home garden, or does it have to be a registered supplier? No, brilliant question, Rachel Moon. No, we don't have any like preferred suppliers, as in you can only use these suppliers. It's more just hey, we found these really cool prices here, you use them too, all right? And so you can buy wherever you want from. Okay, so yeah, Primalistas, sometimes they grow their own veggies. They buy them from the local farmers market. Some of them get them from the supermarket. It just depends what works best for you. I was too busy squealing with excitement. What details? Oh yeah, didn't say what details. info@primalalternative.com. Please send me the door prize winners. Please send me your full name, telephone number and address, and I will send you your prize. Okay, great, thanks, cool. So every time I change address, different kitchen, I would have to renew, pay for a license. I've just returned from overseas, so we have a short-term rental lease at the moment until we find something long-term home solution. That's a good question too. Thank you, Jody. You know what? Yes, you need to renew each time, or if you know you're in a temporary home situation, what you could do is hire a commercial kitchen in the short term, because then you wouldn't have to shell out for a home business registration. That's what some Primalistas have done too. But you know what? Everybody, our age range, so the typical Primalista is in the sort of 35 to 55 age bracket, mostly women, apart from Jim. We love Jim, he's our bro. We call each other like Primalista sisters and bro. It's so cool. Yeah, so we're all moving. We're all like, well, I want to spend a lot of time traveling. I want to move house. I want to move back to New Zealand. We want to move to Queensland. And it's just a case you can, and we've got Primalistas that have moved 3 times. I can think of another Primalista who's moved twice. And the key is really just to start promoting in your new place 3 months before you get there is a good idea. If you're moving state, if you're moving home, not so much of a big deal. But yeah, you can still do it, and you've just got to like factor in that you may need to redo your food business registration. Now, my food business registration is valid for anywhere in Western Australia. So it's another good question to ask with council, because every council is different. Okay. Okay, thanks. I'm turning 50. Oh, happy birthday today. I'm turning 50 in 4 years. I'm 46 this year. October. Okay, we got a bit of planning time. All right, you amazing people. Does anybody have any questions from me before we go? Jojo's just joining us. Hello, Jojo. We're just finishing. So I think you may have missed the majority of it, Jojo, but still hello. And I will send out a replay this afternoon. Oh, come on, you silly thing. Well, I don't know, watch that again, do we? Okay, we're having a Q&A. We'll go back to that one. A 30-minute call is also for questions. Yes. All right. So it's 30 minutes, but I do allow 45 minutes in my diary. 30 minutes is for if it's not a good fit, but usually by the time people have got through to booking in the call, they're a pretty good fit. So allow 45 minutes because that's usually how long it would take for the business strategy session and any questions that you've got. But you know, having watched this, like you've got most of your questions answered. Like the how does this work? This is the answers to it all. And you got a lot of questions. Hey Jody, you know what? Check out the frequently asked questions page. So that's a really good resource as well. Yes, no worries, Jody. I will send you the replay. That's absolutely cool. Shelf life for baked goods, 14 days on average. There's a couple that are less, like the wraps have got 5 days. So 14 days, how good's that compared to a normal loaf of bread? It's 14 days chilled, but we deliver at ambient or room temperature. So it's really good. So we bake, so I'd say bake today, take them to the shop tomorrow. The shop, put them in the fridge. Bake today, take them to the market tomorrow. Market customers, you know, you have it on your stall, ambient room temperature. Customers take it home, put it in the fridge or the freezer. The packet mixes 6 months, and the granola 6 months too. Can they be frozen to minimize waste? The products, yes, they can. Yeah, that's what I do. I just slice and freeze, and then I've just got any bread whenever I want it. Like after this call, I'm going to go and have sardines on nut hemp bread for my lunch today. Yum. Sorry, sardines quite polarizing. I shouldn't have chosen that one. Okay. Wow. Yes, wow. It's amazing. All right, gorgeous people. Thank you so much for showing up, for staying here. I hope this has really helped. I hope I get to meet you one-on-one and see your beautiful face on a call, primalalternative.com/call. Don't worry, don't be put off by the stupid tech gremlins. Don't let that stop us getting together. Don't forget, look out for my email with the replay, and I will put a link in there for direct access to my diary that doesn't involve having to go through the tech gremlin nitty website. All right, thank you so much for joining me. Mwah. Thanks for being here, I really appreciate it. Booked right now, yay. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. All right, beauties, I'm trying to get out of this. Here we go. Bye.